Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chesstrovert and now I will be presenting you the game between Gukesh and Alireza Firuza in the Global Chess League 2025. Gukesh is representing the PBG Alaskan Knights and Alireza is representing the Triveni Continental Kings. So let's get started. Just a minute. Yeah, the game starts off with d4. Gukesh replies with knight f6 and then knight c3, d5, bishop f4. This looks like a London system structure. And now Gukesh plays c5, e3 is played, bishop g4, f3, blocking the bishop. And now bishop goes back to d7. D takes c5, knight c6, knight takes, pawn pushes and attacks the bishop. The bishop attacks the knight, and now queen a5 check. The knight goes back, and bishop comes out. And then a3 is played, and the knight comes to the center. Queen is played to the d2 square. Knight takes, queen takes, pawn takes. And now Gukesh takes that pawn. Black has 6 pawns and white has 7 pawns. Let's see what happens. Alireza plays e4, and now Gukesh attacks the bishop of white by playing f6. Alireza plays bishop h4 and now long castles from Gukesh. The bishop is played outside on d3 by Alireza, and now Gukesh plays knight a5 and now bishop goes back. The bishop are traded because that bishop was really strong and that bishop would have created a lot of problems in this diagonal. So Gukesh thought it is better to trade off this bishop with his bishop. So he did that. Next, Gukesh places bishop over to c4 and now king comes up. The rook comes up so that both the rooks can be doubled up on this file. That is the intention of the rook coming up. And now knight comes out to h3. Rook moves over. The pawn pushes towards the center and tries to break the center. Gukesh plays rook d8 and now pawn takes. Bishop takes, pawn takes and rook takes and pawn takes on f6. After that, just a minute, there is some lag on my chess.com page. There is some problem. Just a minute. Just a minute, guys. I'll be back. Yeah. Just a minute. I was here, right? Yeah. No. I was here. Bishop takes, rook takes, pawn takes, and now the rook takes over here with a check. The king goes over to f4, and now pawn takes. The knight comes back to attack the rook. The rook attacks the knight. It is a counter-attacking move, as you can see. The knight attacked the rook. Instead of defending itself or moving to a safer square, the rook attacked the knight. So that is a counter-attacking move. Next, the knight comes up and now knight goes over to the b3 square. The rook moves over, rook takes the pawn. Knight takes this pawn and now knight comes to c5. And now the rook comes over to the g1 square. The rook gives a check. King moves over to e5. He has to move over to e5 because otherwise he would have lost the knight somehow in some variations. And now b6 is played. The rook comes over to the g7 square. As you can see in this position, white has to give up the exchange. He took the knight with his rook because after a couple of moves, black will be having a totally dominant position. Also, black's king is safe and white's king is in the center over here, which is completely very bad. It is being attacked by these pieces and it is completely exposed and naked in the center of the board. So that is why he gave up the exchange and to secure some play, to get some counterplay. But here Gukesh does not allow him anything and he simplifies the game into this position like this. After a couple of checks, um, as you can see, after a couple of checks, Gukesh's main idea is to push this pawn over to this square and promote to a queen. Let's see how he does that. He plays Rook here, king up, rook check, again king down, rook check, king up, and Alireza tries to force a repetition through which he could get a draw. But Gukesh obviously does not allow that. He has a completely winning position. He does not have to allow a draw. So that's why he played king to a6. And now Alireza played rook h6 check, king moves over, the rook goes down, and now rook comes over to c4. And now the rook gives a check, the king just moves, and completely after couple of checks there is nothing for white here, and the pawn will go over there. And now Alireza gives a final check, and now rook takes over here. And the point is, if you take with the white king, simply this rook will give a check over here, and wherever the king moves, like for example if the king moves here, then this will promote to a queen, and if the rook takes this queen, then this rook will take the rook. So that was the thing. And secondly, if for example this pawn had captured this rook, then also same thing, this rook would have attacked the king, and the king would have moved somewhere, for example here, and this pawn would have promoted to a queen, and this rook after capturing would have been captured again, and this would be the position, and this is completely winning for black. He has an extra rook, and white is just having a king and a pawn, which is not sufficient material even for a draw. So this was the position, guys, in which Alireza Firouzja resigned, and Gukesh won against Alireza Firouzja in this matchup. I will be presenting you the next round soon, and I am very happy to share this with you. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. And yeah, today this is the round recap for this Global Chess League 2025. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.